Once upon a time, there was a wealthy man who never thought he would marry again after his wife died. I had the most wonderful woman in the entire world. She was kind. She was beautiful. She was my everything. She also gave me the greatest gift known to man, my gorgeous daughter, Ella. How could I ever love again? However, a day came when he decided Ella needed a mother in her life. No one can ever replace Ella's mother and his first wife, but he decided to give it a try. His new wife seemed so lovely at first. Little did he know, this woman was nothing like his first wife. No, she was mean and very proud. Not to mention, she had two daughters that were somehow even meaner and prouder than his new wife. Ella's life was about to change, and not for the better. It seemed no sooner were the ceremonies of the wedding over that the new mother began to show her true colors. Ella, I need you to be a dear and fetch me some sparkling water. Then when you're done with that, I need you to clean the entire house before our party tonight, she ordered one evening. Please hurry. I'm rather thirsty and the house is rather dirty. Chop top. She kept up with her demands, and Ella began to realize that her life was about to take a drastic turn. Okay, but may I please have some sparkling water? I'm so thirsty after dusting all morning, Ella lamented. She was all sweaty and tired, but her father's new wife would not have any glimpse of sympathy for Ella. She chuckled evilly, and with a gesture she replied to Ella, "Ha! You think you deserve sparkling water? I'm sorry, Ella, but the only water you'll ever get is from a hose." It seemed like that was all Ella did anymore. Clean, clean, and clean. Her two stepsisters never did anything. Ella always believed that everything happened for a reason. Ella couldn't think of any reason that could possibly be worth all of this. Day after day was filled with dread for poor Ella. She desperately wanted to tell her father about her horrible life. Oh, Father, every day I'm worked to the bone. I am so tired and I miss our old lives. Can we please leave this awful place? Ella cried to her father one evening. However, he also seemed rather busy giving in to her stepmother and stepsister's demands. Ella, didn't you want a new mother? This is our life now. You must accept it. And don't ever let your stepmother hear of you speaking that way. Ella was all alone, and it seemed impossible to ever accept this. Then one day, Ella's life became even worse than she could have imagined. Her evil stepmother awoke her. Ella, I need you to come downstairs immediately. Something terribly unfortunate has happened. Your poor father has passed away from a heart attack, stepmother announced. What do you mean? My father is gone? This can't be true, Ella cried out with her red eyes covered in tears. I'm afraid, poor Ella, it's very true. Ella's stepmother confirmed it again. Tears streamed down Ella's face. Now she was truly alone. After a few days passed, her stepmother called her. Ella, there's good news. There's a rather rich man who is interested in marriage. Of course, he wants to marry one of my beautiful daughters, but they are too good for him. What do you think, Ella? I feel perhaps this will be your only chance at marriage. Will she take the chance? No, I don't want to marry him. You think you're too good for the old man, Ella? You don't know how good you've had it. I'll show what a terrible life looks like now. The wicked stepmother locked her in the kitchen, and she was forced to sleep on the ground by the fire. Her stepsisters cruelly taunted her, Cinderella, Cinderella, Cinderella. All Cinderella did was work for her wicked stepmother and sisters. She was exhausted and had no comfortable place to sleep. Cinderella wondered if she could ever escape this place. She saw an open window and wondered if this was her chance. Will she do it? She cooked, she cleaned, scrubbed, and she never stopped. She prayed that someone, anyone, would notice how hard she'd been working. She hoped with all of her heart that a miracle would happen. One day, things will be different. This won't always be my life. I know it. I will be happy. I will have a better life. I must keep my head up. Cinderella was growing very tired of her life. Maybe one day she would be happy, but not today. After many long winter months, it was finally time for the palace's grand ball. This year, the prince wanted it grander and more beautiful than ever. He wanted a night everyone would truly remember. This meant all the girls in the village would be invited. The palace messenger went to each and every village to ensure all the girls would see the message. The ball was shaping up to be grander than ever, and there were excited girls everywhere. Cinderella desperately wanted to attend the ball. It was just that she had nothing to wear. All of her clothes were working clothes. She dreamed of a beautiful ball gown. Cinderella thought to herself, I can never attend this glamorous ball in any of my clothes. The prince would banish me before I even got to the door. I know my evil stepsisters will be there in a gorgeous gown. Oh, not you, Cinderella. You're not allowed to go to the palace's grand ball. They let Cinderella home. She is very sad. I wish with all of my heart I could go to the ball. Just as Cinderella finished her wish, a fairy godmother appeared. Cinderella was startled. Don't be startled. I am here to help you. You have been a kind, loving, and wonderful person to all those you meet. It's my turn to help you. The fairy godmother waved her wand, and suddenly, Cinderella's old working clothes were transformed into a beautiful, sparkling, gold and silver gown. Her hair was swept up into a bun, complete with a tiara. Now, you need a coach to take you to the ball. With another wave of her wand, the mice became 4 shiny black horses and 2 coachmen, and the pumpkin turned into a golden coach. How can I ever thank you enough, fairy godmother? I never thought I could look like this. I feel beautiful. Thank you, Ella said thankfully. She was overwhelmed, and she considered herself lucky to have her wish granted by her fairy godmother. Not much had been able to see the fairy mother. There is no need to thank me, Cinderella. You deserve this. However, you must remember, as soon as the clock strikes midnight, everything goes back to the way it was, the fairy warned. Cinderella was off to the ball, and there were people everywhere. When she entered the palace, people gasped and murmured, "Who is that? I've never seen someone so beautiful. She's incredible. Wow!" Even Cinderella's evil stepsisters had to admit this new girl was simply beautiful. What would the prince think when he saw her? The prince danced with many women at the ball, but he had his eyes on Cinderella the whole night. Just before midnight, he saved the most special dance, the last dance of the night, for Cinderella. I would be honored to have this last dance with you, my beautiful lady. He extended his hands, waiting for Ella to accept his offer. Of course, Cinderella wanted to have this dance with the prince. She nervously glanced at the clocks. She only had a few minutes to spare. Yes, of course, my prince. It would be my pleasure to dance with you, Ella replied happily. Suddenly, she remembers the godmother's warning. As soon as the clock strikes midnight, everything goes back to the way it was. Will she obey her? With the clock minutes away from striking midnight, Cinderella knew she couldn't risk being transformed back into her old self. Sadly, she told the prince, "I'm so sorry, but I must go." Before he could say anything, Cinderella was already gone. Cinderella quickly dashed out of the palace, but not before leaving behind one of her glass slippers. What is this? I know who was wearing this glass slipper, and who it belongs to. The beautiful lady I wanted to dance with was wearing it, he said as he inspected the glass slipper. He called out to his servants, "We must find the lady who it will fit, and then I will find my love. We will search all of the houses in the kingdom until I can find my true love. I must see that beautiful woman again," the prince said with determination to find the mystery woman. After an incredibly long search with no results, the prince was almost ready to call off his search. His servants tried to encourage him. "Come on, prince! There's only a few houses left. Look, there's only one left on the street." The prince decided to give it one last try. To the prince's surprise, 2 young women answered the door. "Hello, my handsome prince. I'm sure that glass slipper belongs to me. Don't you remember we danced the night away?" The prince didn't remember her at all. The glass slipper did not fit her foot at all. The other girl said, "Oh, it must be me. I was the most beautiful girl at the ball." The prince didn't think so, and the glass slipper didn't fit. Then, the prince spotted a girl by the kitchen fire. "Her! That's her! Please come and try this glass slipper on." The prince was right. It was Cinderella. The glass slipper fit, and the prince asked her to marry him. Cinderella couldn't believe her eyes. The prince wanted to marry her. With tears in her eyes, she told the prince, "Yes, yes." She ran over to the prince and gave him the biggest hug ever. After a few days of wedding planning, it was time for the wonderful wedding. Cinderella's fairy godmother came in handy again. "My gift for you, Cinderella, is a beautiful wedding gown. Except this time, it doesn't turn back at midnight." With a wave of her wand, Cinderella was transformed into a gorgeous bride. The wedding celebration lasted 7 days and 7 nights. It was the grandest celebration ever held at the palace. The prince and Cinderella lived happily ever after.